welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You are joined by your usual hosts, Josh Hartley and Charlotte Porter.
Hello.
This time.
Hello.
This episode is in memorandum of our former host, Benjamin Porter.
Yes.
He
succumbed to hay fever.
He has been killed by pollen. He's been murdered by the summertime. But we are joined on this episode by Dave Wright of Tabletop Scotland. The convention Overlord, I believe, is still your title.
Yeah, I think that's what the team still refer to.
Upon consultation with PR, we thought that it was good. It was a decent and relevant title. So, Dave, how are you doing at the moment?
Good, busy, both in day job and in other day job. Yeah, busy.
Yeah, a good problem to have is the phrase that often gets kicked about. So you've come on to the show again since when did we first have you on? That was way back in January, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he's a fun. He came up to the ticket launch. He's had a couple of the guys.
Of course, yes.
And you had a cameo from Duncan when you were when Charlotte and Ben were at his house for DunCon, as I believe it's still called.
Yes.
But yeah, you've not had me on since the original.
Yeah.
No.
So you wanted to come on and make a few announcements about the convention, and but before we get into that, just remind our listeners when are the dates again? 1st and 2nd of September, is that right?
That's correct. Yes, and it's in Perth, which is you can get to Perth from any part of Scotland in less than 2 hours, I believe.
It's known as the heart of Scotland, I believe.
It is also the heart of Scotland, and we plan to take gaming to the heart of Scotland.
Yeah,
I love it. Love it.
Excellent. Good tagline. So, what has happened then since we last had you guys on the show? What else can you tell us about the convention?
That's a long list. So rather than doing a day by day, blow by blow, the main thing is obviously at the end of January our ticket sales started. And then at the end of May, our event booking system went live. So we had a period of spike for ticket sales after ticket sales going live, and then we had another spike when people realised they needed a ticket to book their events that they wanted. And then off the back of Expo as well, we had which was essentially just a couple of days after event booking going live, we had another kind of spike of activity. We're currently sitting at roughly 280 tickets. We're just shy of the 280 tickets. Yeah, it's a good number. It's a number that whenever I get asked, I always say I want more, and I do want more. But it's a good number. It gives us confidence in the run up to the convention itself, because we know that we're going to have a number of people who are going to turn up at the door. Not everyone plans like I do. So I think that's just the way it is. But it's going well. As I say, our event booking's gone live. Role-playing games, I think, are sitting at 57% of on all online seats booked. Which is good. The events are a bit over the place. Some of them are really strong, some of them are less strong, but I think that's just the nature of the beast. And we've also made the recent announcement that the Shadespire event is going to be a Grand Clash, and I recently shared the lovely trophy pictures as well.
I know. I'd love to get my hands on it, but I think I might be a tad busy that day.
Now, why would that be, Josh? Why would you be busy?
Oh, I don't know, Dave. I sense an announcement of some sort coming along.
So one of the reasons I've come on here tonight is obviously to talk about Unlucky Frog Gaming's role within the convention. So one of the things when this harebrained idea became something more than an idea that I wanted to do was to have another voice at the table, for want of a better phrase. And that voice is in the guise of what I've dubbed as a media partner. So The media partner is someone who, or is a group of people who will be obviously Unlucky Frog.
Yay!
It's really there to give us a sounding board. A phrase that I've used previously is to keep us honest, which sounds darker than it needs to be. So we're not dishonest, obviously. We're not dishonest. But it's just to have another set of voices, another set of people who will go, actually, you guys are in that tunnel again, aren't you? You're just thinking about that thing that's in the tunnel. There's more you need to be talking about. And just to give us that prod from now and again. Similarly, we've also got some seminars that we're hosting. Bez is doing a board game design 101 seminar.
Yes.
And Michael and Pauline from People Like Us are doing an accessibility seminar. And I believe they're planning to do an actual tear down, I think the phrase is, of a game as part of the seminar, so that people can experience what they go through when they're doing that. And I need someone to record those seminars, and it makes sense that it's someone who actually knows what they're doing, which is certainly nobody in my team, including myself. So that those were kind of like the two halves to that equation. You then add in, obviously, the Room D100+1 live show rather than seminar that you guys are doing at night is quite special, I think, actually. So whether that's going to be airable, depending on the nature of the content. But
I mean, it will air on some platform. Whether it comes with warnings is anyone's guess.
We have to actually officially on iTunes we are explicit,
really,
because I believe there was one reference to a singular word. And therefore, we are now explicit. So we are the dirty podcast.
That's just
essentially.
So you're dirty frogs. So you're not just unlucky frogs.
I was actually just going to joke, not to be confused with the Dirty Frog podcast, which is of entirely different subject matter.
Something else entirely.
I will not Google that.
No, we're all here at the podcast. We're both flattered and honoured to take up the position of media partner. And yes. We will be bringing you live content when we're at the convention and beyond. We will be recording all these the seminars, the shows, so that you at home who can't make it up to Perth can still enjoy and get in on a bit of the fun. But so we've already covered off some of the seminars as well. We've got a ton of RPGs happening over the weekend as well. If you haven't already, get yourself booked in on that, because as Dave says, the tickets are going, and once they're gone, they're gone. So make sure you book your place on that if you're wanting to get in on a game there. What if people aren't as you say, as organised as the likes of us, and just want to show up and play a tabletop game? Is there going to be any open space for that?
There will be. It's something that we're very conscious that, as you say, not everyone is as organised as me, or likes to plan as much as I do. Probably not organised, people are organised. But if you come to the convention and you have no interest even in playing a role-playing game, or indeed taking part in any of the tournaments, then we'll have, right now is sitting at 350 to 375 seats of open play space. So literally you can come in, you can browse the exhibitors or not browse the exhibitors. You can go to the games library or not go to the games library, but we will have a lot of seats available for people to sit and play games. Now, that could be with people they know. It could be with people they don't know. It could be games they've brought with them. It could be games, obviously, that they've taken from the library or indeed bought. It's having access to just be able to sit down and play a game there and then, potentially with someone who knows how to play it as well, then that makes a big difference, I think. The bit that we've kind of tweaked slightly with open play is that we've created a big table space, because some games, as we all know, take up a lot of space. And Firefly is obviously an example of that.
I was thinking Twilight Imperium myself, but yes, Firefly as well.
And what we've done is we've managed to create Currently it's 4. That may grow, but we've created at least 4, if I put it that way, big table spaces. And obviously we don't want people to hog them for games that aren't big. But we're not going to police that because people are sensible. But it's really just about giving that kind of available space so that people can bring games of that ilk, so that they don't feel that, well, there's no point in me bringing this because it won't fit on a table. So having the open play space is a key component of any games convention these days, because a lot of people like that, and certainly at Expo, which was just 3 weeks ago. It was only 3 weeks ago.
Feels a lifetime ago.
And they obviously have a lot within the Hilton, and they had a lot within the NEC as well, and AireCon have open play as a big part of their kind of gaming capacity within the event. And we wanted to try and find a balance between kind of scheduled gaming versus unscheduled gaming, for a better way of putting it.
No, it sounds exciting. Who is it who's providing the games library again, by the way?
Yeah, so Kenny from Dice Roll Cafe is providing the games library. We're reviewing the library content with him just now. He's got something like 250 games. We're speaking with him just to make sure we've got a reasonable mix of, whether it's heavy Euro or Ameritrash, if you want to use those terms, but it's just to make sure there's a reasonable mix, so that once we get that list fine-tuned, we'll publish it so that people know what is already available. And that way, if they choose not to bring a copy of Viticulture as an example, then they can choose not to bring it, because we should have a copy in the library as an example. And so we'll certainly have about 200 games, possibly 250 games at the show itself. In addition to that, we've obviously got Haba, who are there as our family-owned partner, which was a delight to meet Sarah and the team when we were at Expo, and then a delight to fill my car with all of their games. Back up to Scotland with them all. They've been fantastic in general. Just the amount of support they've given us, and the benefit, the kind of fringe benefit of them giving us these games is they don't want them back.
That's interesting.
What are you going to do with all these games?
We're not keeping them.
Okay.
We plan to do something with them. What that is, I'm open to suggestions. So if any of your listeners have suggestions about what we do with them, other than people wanting to bag them for themselves, obviously.
Let's do something a little honourable.
Exactly. So we have some ideas ourselves, but it kind of falls into that category of give us, other ideas, because the default position would be donate them to schools or something like that. Yeah. That's not a bad idea by any stretch of the imagination. It's just where there's other ideas out there.
Exactly.
That's great. That sounds brilliant.
It is. It's a fantastic gesture on their part, which is, and that extends to the copies of Garuba they've given us for the Garuba event as well. So it's just crazy.
Have you managed to acquire a glittery Indiana Jones outfit for is it going to be John?
It's John who would be wearing said outfit should that notion take him. I haven't acquired an outfit for him. Whether he has is
entirely up to him.
He might already have one for all we know.
This is true. This is something we have not considered yet.
Have we actually asked John if he has a spangly, glittery Indiana Jones outfit in his cupboard?
I try not to get into wardrobe discussions with any of my team, frankly, other than the fact that they'll be wearing bright yellow t-shirts.
Yes.
Conventional.
Yes.
No other wardrobe conversations occur.
And obviously, conventions like this, as well as a team of dedicated organisers such as yourself, to put the whole thing together. Presumably, you rely on a team of volunteers as well to make the whole thing happen.
We're going to put some context around what we've been doing a little bit, and I'll come back to the volunteers point, Josh, because it's a really good one. Okay. So I think last Saturday, was it last Saturday? Yeah, it was last Saturday. I had the guys at my house for 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
I didn't play a single game in those 10 hours, I hasten to add. I was working them hard. a lot of the topics that we're working on over the next 5 to 6 weeks were kind of covered in that session, including a component check of all the Haver games, and fortunately that was a positive outcome. But volunteers was something that we'd kind of gone around in circles, and because it's easy to over-egg the pudding, if you excuse the analogy, and have too many volunteers, but it's also quite easy to think, well, we can just do this all ourselves. So we kind of worked on the basis that John, Duncan, Simon and myself are not doing anything that weekend apart from firefighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know there's going to be something that comes up that needs our specific attention. That's going to happen. So rather than relying on one of us to be permanently at the front desk or whatever it is, we've kind of worked on the basis that we're not in that mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right now we have, I'm going to get the number wrong, so I won't give one. So we've got a number of people who have applied to be volunteers. Some of them have been volunteered to be volunteers, I guess, instead. We think we've got a good number, but we do want more, if only just to give us contingency in case people get sick or whatever. And it's really just to give us a bit more flexibility. Some of the events that we run need volunteers as well. If I take the example of the pandemic survival event, that needs volunteers because you need a team of 7 to run that.
It's good to have floaters as well.
Yeah, we are going to have people who may have a specific function to do on the Saturday, but don't have a function to do on the Sunday and are there to be pulled upon should we need them. And we roughly know who that's going to be. But we haven't specified that yet with the individuals, never did anything else. But the main kind of area that we are looking for support in right now, from a volunteer point of view, is actually in our gateway zone, which is something that I think is probably something we need to do more on and talking about in general, and really just explaining what we mean by gateway zone. So let me try and have a stab at that, if you don't mind.
Well, go ahead.
We obviously have Asmodee there doing demos, and Asmodee will be there demoing probably the latest releases that will have been out at GenCon, and anything that's come after that. What Gateway is really just about that introduction to the hobby. So we fully expect, in fact we know this from the information that our attendees have given us, that we're going to have a lot of people who are beginners to this hobby. They've maybe played Ticket tonight, or they've played Carcassonne, or they've played something like that. Or they've played Rhino Hero because they've bought into the fact that it's awesome. But they've never tried anything else, and they don't know where to go. So it isn't a group of people who have a young family, because they would go to Hava. But they need a way of saying, well, if you like this, we think you'll like that. So one of the extended team, Andy, he's running our gateway zone for us. And we have a number of people earmarked for helping Andy. And we have a list of games that we're planning to use, which we will publish, not quite there yet. But it's about having the right skill set to not sell a game, because it's not a sales pitch. It's purely about getting them up and running with the game, and then stepping back, and letting them play through it and being there to help them. It's a bit of a hybrid between a demo and a full-blown introduction to the hobby. It's trying to find something in the middle there, and Gateway is kind of what we think will do that.
It's a very specific skill set, actually, the ability to teach a new game to someone, and I've yet to do it successfully without at least getting something wrong.
And again, it goes back to why none of the team will be directly involved in this, because if I was involved in that, I'd be rubbish at it, and I know I would be, because I'm rubbish at teaching games to people, because I always have been, because I just skip straight to this is how you play it, rather than explaining why you're playing it, what it's all about, how you win. I just go, no, this is how you play it. Whereas Duncan's very good at explaining how to play games. He is good at that, but he's going to be busy doing other things that weekend. So
you've mentioned some of the zones. Any other zones that you feel you mention?
Thank you, Charlotte, for that prompt. So we have our open play. We have our not playtest, I'll come back to that. We've got our demo zone, which is going to be run by Asmodee. We've actually got, I'll announce this, even though I haven't briefed you on the announcement. So the Asmodee demo zone is going to be just one part of our demo zone. Coiledspring Games, who are the distributor for Game Right Games, so that's things like Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Island, King Domino, things like that, but also they do all the yellow games, so things like King of Tokyo.
Yes.
They will be coming as well, and they'll have their own section, but there'll be a blurring of lines between the two within the database.
That's exciting.
A number of games, including Forbidden Sky, which is the new Natalie Cooke Forbidden game, as it were, which I believe is getting
fantastic!
Is getting released in September. So
that's exciting.
Timing. So they're purely coming to demo. They're not coming to sell. They're just coming to help us with more options for people to learn.
That's great.
Fantastic. So that's demo. We've already talked about open play. I'm going to get my list wrong here. So we've got the family zone. I'm going to have to pull up the website. This is terrible. This is when my wife would tell me, you should know this.
You did briefly mention the playtest zone.
Yeah, so we do have a playtest zone. So the Iain McAllister, who you know well from the Giant Brain, and
hello, Iain.
Iain and I have been talking about this for some time. Actually, we're really, really, really keen to have some form of playtest zone at the convention, and we have on the website a kind of sign up form for that. Those who want to playtest games, or who have a game that's not quite there yet, it may be rough and ready. That's exactly what this is for. The only thing we're asking for is for it to be a bit structured, so that they submit a request for either a 90-minute slot or a 3-hour slot. The 3-hour slot, we ask for a donation to charity. The 90-minute slot, don't ask for anything. They need a ticket to come, but apart from that, that's all we're really asking for. And we're keen to. So
obviously, it would be within their interests to come, but does a designer have to be present? Say, for instance, they can't come.
No, because the feedback that will be collated on the day is going to be through a standard form. It's a similar approach to how Playtest UK do it at Expo. And Ian's certainly been very good at kind of speaking to guys from Playtest UK to understand how best to do this. It's something that if a company or an individual has a game and they can't physically make it themselves, then if they want to reach out to whether it's people like yourselves or even Iain directly, then I'm sure we can find a way of getting that on the schedule. It's just a question of getting a critical mass of it for it to actually be a zone. Because we have a number of submissions already, but it feels like a table or two at the minute, and I'd like it to be slightly bigger.
Right, okay.
What else have I got? Hang on a sec.
What else have you got?
What else have I got? No, I've got the demo zone, got the games library, got the gateway zone. Too many zones. It's like Twilight Zone.
Too many zones.
Calling them zones makes me feel like the Crystal Maze. I'm expecting you to say the Aztec Zone. What? Just.
That's all because you didn't do the escape room, did you?
No. I did an escape room not so long ago, mind, which did feel very Crystal Mazy, except it lasts an hour, which is a bit more time than you're given on the Crystal Maze.
Indeed.
But a six hour TV program probably wouldn't go down. So, although actually 6 hours of Crystal Maze, I've probably done that on some weekends.
So there's not going to, Crystal Maze isn't going to be
Sorry,
there.
Yes,
before we get everybody's hopes up.
Let's not set that expectation.
But are there going to be, you've mentioned some of the things that will be happening. I think you mentioned the pandemic as well. What other things will be happening that are noteworthy? All of it's obviously noteworthy.
All of it's worthy, obviously. So, as I say, the role-playing is a big deal, particularly because that's how I got into this in the first place as a hobby. We've recently had it confirmed what the D&D Epic's going to be as well. So it's going to be the Red War, which is a new storyline that they launched at Origins, which was only 2 weeks ago. and we will be, I think, the first UK-based event to host that. I'm sure another convention or club will come along and run it. But right now,
as of this moment,
we've also had it confirmed what premiere content we will have, but that's not quite ready to release yet.
Hush, hush.
That we will have potentially 3 different scenarios that will sit in the premiere content, which might mean I need to rejig the event schedule a little bit. But we'll brief all the people who have signed up on that before we do that. But that's really exciting because premiere content is essentially saying we will be the first convention where you can play this, which is really kind of cool. The rest of the role playing is all on the website, so it's all up there. We've got lots there, and we're still getting the submissions in even now, which is great. We've got the Shadespire Mind Clash that I've mentioned, with the official Games Workshop trophies, and we will be getting official Games Workshop other things as well to go alongside that, which is really exciting. We've got our Catan UK National Qualifier, and the prize pack for that is heavy. It's really different. When the box arrived, I was like, what on earth's in this? But it's just full of stuff, which is great. So things like every attendee will get a Catan Hawaii map, which is a poster of Hawaii with Catan kind of emblems.
I mean, that's amazing.
It's really cool. I didn't think I would find it that exciting, but it is. It's really cool. And then there's all sorts of other things as well within that kit. That like every attendee gets a sheep badge, which is, from a Catan perspective, that's kind of cool.
Can you trade one for a wood badge?
There are no badges in this kit. I have no idea if you go to another UK National Qualifier where they will have one or not.
You just go at the middle of the convention centre and just go, I've got sheep badge for wood badge. Just like...
What I would be interested in is the new Catan, the one that's the Incan one.
Yes.
They have replaced sheep for alpaca. I want all the alpaca.
That was going down an absolute storm at Expo. I know Ilsa, who is one of the Asmodee demo team, she was the team manager for the Catan area Expo. She was having a whale of a time because she was bossing people around. But they were mobbed the whole time at Expo, and I think that was one of the main reasons, which is really good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So obviously we've been talking about Tabletop Scotland, but I know that you're going to be very busy between now and Tabletop Scotland.
Not just with Tabletop Scotland things.
Yes. So why don't you tell us? Because I don't think you've mentioned what it is you're doing, Dave.
Well, before I get to that, everything that we need to do needs to be done by the 29th of July, which happens to be my birthday. It all has to be done by then.
Okay.
Because on the 31st of July, I get on a plane.
Okay.
And I want it all done before I get on the plane because I'm going to GenCon.
Going to GenCon.
And I have a press pass for GenCon as well. How on earth did I get that? I have no idea. It's well, what is GenCon? If your listeners don't know what GenCon is, then I'll give a quick overview of that. It's 4 days. I happen to be wearing my GenCon t-shirt of 2014. It's the best 4 days in gaming is the tagline, and it's so how many attendees? 64,000 uniques last year. So okay, if you think about that, that's 3 times the size of Expo from an attendee perspective.
Oof.
An Expo was massive.
The thing that always catches me off guard whenever I talk about numbers with GenCon, though, is the number of events that GenCon's hosting this year is 17,000.
Wow.
Right. So okay.
I can't even wrap my head around the sort of organisational brain that would be required to orchestrate that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, an event can be anything from a publisher doing a demo of a game to a role-playing session, to a 40k tournament, to whatever, a BattleTech event, which I'll be doing on the Sunday of GenCon. So there's a lot of things that go on there because it has this it gets tagged with the trade show kind of tag, because a lot of certainly North American publishers release all their product at it. They do, and the exhibitor hall is ginormous, but it's got 17,000 events as well. Right? So it's kind of like there's more to it than just the trade hall, which is one of the reasons why I go to that rather than say Essen, because I'm not going to buy things. I will buy things, but I'm not going to buy things. I'm going to play D&D because it's one of the few times we'll ever play it. I'm also going there to play the new Sentinels and the Multiverse card game.
I'm
also going to play a new Judge Dredd card game that is being released after GenCon, which is a two-player block war game, which is quite kind of cool. Hoping to acquire a copy while I'm there, if they'll give me one. And I'm playing BattleTech because, again, it's one of the few times I'll ever play BattleTech, so I'll do it there. And I'll be probably drinking beer and eating lots of unhealthy food, and then I'll be having steak. I'll be having a steak on the Sunday night because that's what we did 4 years ago. And hoping to meet up with various people there, because we know that Sarah and Nigel from One Free Elephant are going to be there. Tristan Hall from Hall or Nothing is going to be there. In fact, Tristan messaged me a couple of days ago, and we're going to try and meet up for a beer, or you might even join us for the steak. We'll see. So that it'd be good to kind of meet up with anybody there. I'm more than happy to do that. I mean, I know full well that whilst I have a schedule, and yes, it is in a spreadsheet, it will change between now and then. I'll drop things, I'll add things, or I'll end up doing none of it, whichever happens. I want to do some of it, though. I don't want it to be like Expo, where all I did was talk. I didn't play any games apart from Ticket to Ride New York. But yeah, that's a big deal. For me, it was booked before the convention was booked. And I want everything, or as much as possible, to be done before I get on the plane. So
that's fair.
When I'm there, I can enjoy it, and when I come back, I'm just dealing with issues rather than trying to rush to do things.
Yes.
One of the things you've just reminded me of, actually, talking about communication and not just talking but gaming and things like that, is I noticed that on Facebook there's now a Tabletop Scotland chat group.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's that all about?
So Facebook is, love it or loathe it, it's a very popular thing. And it has, through pages, the ability to broadcast, right?
Yes.
You can broadcast out as much as you like about it. People can't really engage with it back the way other than directly commenting on what you're broadcasting. The group, which is a frustration, which I'll come back to the frustration element. The group, the idea behind it was, well, it kind of goes back to open gaming, if I'm honest. Open gaming is about really people being self-organized. Right? So people coming and organizing themselves, whether it's to meet up with people they don't normally see, or whatever, and they just get together and they play games. The group is there to help organise that, because it'll get people who aren't me, John, Duncan or Simon talking to each other about what's happening. The frustration I've got is that the linking a group to a page is supposed to let you invite everybody who likes the page into the group. Hasn't quite worked out like that. Because it's only let me invite about a quarter, in fact less than a quarter, probably a fifth of our likes, because we're currently sitting at, as he checks, because his brain isn't working properly, we're currently sitting at 875 likes. That's gone up since I checked earlier.
There you go. Yeah.
By the way, Mark, Cooke, if you're listening, we're less than 100 behind you, mate.
Oh, we're coming for you, Mark. Coming for you.
Them's fine.
But I mean, that's a nice thing. It's a nice number. It'd be great if that number of people obviously came to the event. But similarly, ideally, I'd like that number of people in the group interacting. Because then it means that we can respond to things quicker and take feedback on the readiness for the event, and indeed during and after the event as well.
It also drums up a lot of interest, gets people excited before the fact. Do you know what I mean? People are already linking in. I've already signed up for a game of Chinatown.
You have.
That's it. It's great. It's what it's all about.
Michael's Coffee Chinatown is currently on my shelves in front of me. It will
I'm
be
looking forward to it.
Wednesday.
Last time I played it, I won. I'm going to win again.
Do you know why you won though, Charlotte?
Why?
You weren't playing against me.
Is that right?
That's
it. It's on. Right, so we're all going to play it now.
Right there, George.
I'm very rarely this confident about a game.
Yeah.
I will murder you.
You think that's right, Josh? Yeah. I'd like to see you try.
I played Chinatown with Duncan 6 months ago. Might have been longer than that. I'm sure his memory was better than mine. And I didn't win, but I had one whole quadrant that was mine. I owned the whole thing. Everything in it was mine. I didn't win, but it was cool that I had one whole section for myself. I
had one of those ones where I didn't know I was winning. I actually I think by about maybe a quarter of the way through, I thought, oh, well, I'm not going to win. I will just try and dick in everyone, and ended up winning.
And that turned out to be a good strategy in Chinatown.
That is the strategy.
The best is
from the get-go.
The best is when you're in a hard negotiation and you actually threaten to plant a useless shop on this really valuable plot of land just to annoy someone.
Just to wind them up. That's exactly what you would do.
And that is the beauty of tabletop gaming.
Yeah. New and innovative ways to fall out with your friends.
Exactly. It is. And it's... The whole thing is the beauty of, as a hobby, without me going all soapy for a minute, but it is just getting people around the table and having fun together.
Yeah.
You know, I did win the game of Whistle Stop on Friday, and I did enjoy that. It was great, but I haven't won anything else I've played since Friday, and I've played 5 games since Friday. But that's not why I play.
Yeah.
It's also. Some of the feedback I've had since Expo was, but if you didn't play the games at Expo, why did you go? I'm like, well, I didn't go to Expo to play games. I'm not organising a games convention to play games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. I want other people to play games. I play games every week. So let's get more people playing games every week.
Exactly.
Too right.
Exactly.
Too right. Well, I think that's just about all the time we have. But just finally, just one quick note, Dave. Say someone is wanting to get their ticket or wanting to get booked on an event or wanting to volunteer or pretty much anything to do with Tabletop Scotland. What website do they need to go to?
So it's www.tabletopscotland.co.uk. If they have a question, they can either use our contact us form, or they can just email us at info@tabletopscotland.co.uk. We're also available on all the usual social medias, so Facebook, Tabletop Scotland, Twitter, Tabletop Scot, and Instagram, although I'm still not sure how to use it, Tabletop Scot as well. People can get in touch with us, and they can get in touch with me directly on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. We're very open to suggestion and help as well.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Well, look, Dave, pleasure having you on the show again. Thanks very much for coming. We're really looking forward to Tabletop Scotland. But guys, until next time, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
We are Unlucky Frog Gaming, and I am Ben. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Unlucky Frog Gaming. You can also show your support by giving us money through the Unlucky Frog Patreon. And be sure to check out our website, unluckyfrog.com, to find out more.